Elizabeth Scott, and I just wanted to tell you a little bit about what things are looking like. I'm wrapping up my third week down here in Olympia, and I'm really having a great time meeting lots of people and hearing what their top issues are, and learning all the acronyms and where things are located and who to call with questions about certain things. So every day my legislative assistant gives me a blue card filled with my schedule of every 10 to 15 minutes, where am I supposed to be? And the longest block of time is the 2-hour committee meetings, where we are beginning to move from just learning about the issues to actually studying and hearing about the bills and the pros and cons of the bills that make it to our committee. So I'm really enjoying that. I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about some of the things that I've been working on down here in Olympia. As many of you know, the school shootings that have been happening around the country have everybody really concerned, especially the Sandy Hook one in Connecticut. And it just really brings home to people, because we have had school shootings in Washington State before. You know, it just makes us all think about what can we do to make our schools safer. So that has been a main topic of conversation on both sides of the legislature for the past couple of weeks. And we're hearing a lot of good ideas. But I've been reaching out to my constituents, you, to try to find out what your suggestions are. So when people call me or email me, I call them back and say, what are your suggestions? And we've also been I've been reaching out specifically to teachers and principals, staff members. They were down here for another reason one day, and since I had about 10 staff members there in my office, I said, listen, let's change the topic here a little bit. What are your suggestions for how we can make our schools safer, to keep our teachers, our staff, and most especially our students safe? And it's really interesting the number of ideas that are out there, you know, ranging from mental health issues. We've been having the discussion about how do we make sure that any new laws are focused on the bad guys and not decreasing the rights of the good guys, their rights to protect themselves in a dangerous situation. And so with that in mind, I'd like to just read from our federal Constitution, which says in its Second Amendment, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. So that's one of the main topics of conversation down here, is how can we make sure that more people are safe, but without infringing upon the rights of law-abiding citizens. And you might be interested to know that in our state constitution, it's actually stronger protections for the right to bear arms. So in our state constitution, it says in Article 1, Section 1, all political power is inherent in the people, and governments derive their just powers from the consent of the governed, and are established to protect and maintain individual rights. So in other words, government doesn't have any rights that people do not already have. Government doesn't give you rights. Remember, they're inalienable. And then in Section 24 of Article 1, we have our Washington State right to bear arms codified. The right of the individual citizen to bear arms in defense of himself or the state shall not be impaired. But nothing in this section shall be construed as authorizing individuals or corporations to organize, maintain, or employ an armed body of men. And if you're wondering why they put that last part in there, it was because they were concerned that maybe corporations would hire some kind of militia just to guard that corporation from some kind of union activity. So they put that in there. Thankfully, we haven't had to use that. So anyway, these are the kinds of things, the range of issues that we're talking about. Do we need more school resource officers? Do we need you know, do we need to allow other people to, do we need to match our state law to federal law, to the federal Gun-Free School Zones Act signed by Bill Clinton all the way back in the early 90s? You know, it turns out our law doesn't exactly match that law. So while I'm down here in Olympia, I'm focused on not only jobs, schools, fiscal responsibility, but of course public safety, because along with education and caring for the vulnerable, public safety is one of the top priorities of our state constitution, and that's the top duty of a legislator. So I'd really love to hear your ideas on this and on any other topics. You can call me and you can email me. You can come down and visit. I'm in the legislative building downstairs on the first floor in 122E. So thanks so much, and I hope you're having a great week.